Right, it's Tom. Welcome back to another video. This is a bit different than most of my videos, which is just a week in a life. But I just recently hit 1 year on the courier exchange, being a same-day courier. So some of the stuff I say will not be relevant to some people. Some people might think it's bollocks, but I'm just going to give it as I see it and stuff I've learned and stuff I do. And hopefully that'll find it useful for some of you guys. If you're new, and there's other YouTube channels as well. You've got Big Beardy, who does Week in Life and does lots of videos on hints and tips, so he's definitely worth a watch. Pete the Courier Driver, you know, Pete is in now a 7.5 ton, but his earlier videos are more relevant. You know, he's in a Luton, but it's still more relevant to the courier exchange. Van on the Run does all Week in a Life really, but his videos are quite extensive and gives you a good insight. So I'll try and link their channels here and in the video at some point. Right, so let's get started. It's something I probably have always wanted to do, the job, but we had a global pandemic, didn't we, in 2020. I sort of not losing my job. And then because of the situation here at home, it worked out in a better way. We were lucky with support from family and friends. My wife's job was working home, but we've got well, she would have been 4 then, but you know, looking after a child and working, she'd have had, if I got another job, she'd have zero chance. She literally had to be on the computer phone all the time. So I looked after our daughter for the main part of it. And then my wife had some inheritance come through, which we knew was coming through, so we had to wait for that. And luckily, that's how I got started. And obviously, not some people won't be as lucky as that to just fall into that. So we got set up, everything started, and we started in September last year. So originally, we wanted a bigger van, but we started in a VW Caddy, small van, that's what's classed as on the courier exchange. Just more to get started and get used to it and stuff, and the jobs that you can pick up. So things are, you know, the job pricing, I think the first job, you know, was, you know, miles off on the pricing and quoting on the load, sorry. And that's one thing you have to learn. I mean, this is rule of thumb and doesn't mean you do this every job, but it's like 65p a mile for small van jobs. But obviously you can quote as high as you want, test the water on the jobs. But obviously when you're just starting, this is not again rule of thumb. You've got zero feedback. They'll see you're new, and unfortunately that will put you at a disadvantage to other drivers who bid on that job, who've got more experience on the courier exchange. Not as a courier, they must have more experience on the courier exchange. Doesn't mean they're a better driver than you or anything like that. It's not against you and your bid. But that will put in a slight thought. So I still didn't go low. I still went the money because obviously I did all the research by watching all the other YouTubers, hours and hours of watching the videos, which without them, it would be very difficult to even be doing this now. So that's very important that you watch their videos when I put the links up to their channels. So yeah, once you've just got to try and win jobs. Depends on obviously the amount of drivers that are around you and obviously the area of the country that you are from. But I won't go low, absolutely not. Stick with your price. It's going to be tough. That's all one thing I say when you start. It's going to be very, very tough. I mean, forget the quoting on jobs just for a second. Obviously, the money you're going to need to start up, you've got to buy a van. You've got to get all your insurances. You've got hire and ward, light haulage, public liability, which you don't need, but it's worth having. So insurance has come to a lot. I think mine were just renewed, obviously, it's just been a year. I think I mentioned that in the previous video. I think originally the first year is about the same. I think it's about 1900. So it wasn't too bad, considering some of the quotes I was getting. And I'm with A-Plan Tooting. I don't think you have to specifically go to A-Plan Tooting. I'm sure if you've got an A-Plan, well, they're not even in my area, but I'm sure if you ring it an A-Plan, they'll sort you out. They sorted me out fantastically. So there's that. And if you're doing work on the courier exchange, you have to be aware that, excuse me, Also got fuel in the van. You got to think for 2 months you're not going to get paid. Most terms are 30 days end of month, 30 days for invoice, 45 days for invoice, 60 days for invoice, 45 days end of month. So just be aware that you're going to need that pot of cash just on the side, because until you get going, it's quite difficult. And I was ill for nearly 3-4 weeks, so that's put me a bit behind, because obviously I'll start like in the same situation when I started, but that's another story. So, yep, just make sure that's all intact. So with the quote, the first day I worked, Middlewich. I'm based near Winsford in Cheshire. Middlewich isn't too far, so I was like, oh yeah, ideal first job. Went to Nottingham. To be fair, see, I'm saying you need all this feedback and all this to get jobs, but you don't. But you just need to make sure you're pricing competitively for the work when you start. Or if you want to stick at a higher price, stick at a higher price and see how you go. You might get on. It's not saying you have to do that. I think then I got picked up quite a job quite soon. Memory serves me right. I think I went Nottingham to Cambridge. Yeah, that's right. I went to Cambridge. And then I got a job Rushden to Oldham. And obviously I count any job basically northwest-ish as a win for getting home on the same day. So I had a really good first day, to be honest. And things went from there. Then the next day, I think I did a job for a local shipper who gives me work now. They gave it me and just did the usuals, tell me about the job. And say what you got for the job, and lost my train of thought. Yeah, sorry, you talk about the job, that regular shipper, was talking about what I get for the job. And then, but the next day when I was on the way to it, I think there's two lads there. I think one was the boss who rang me and just went, oh, notice you're new, notice this is where you live, we have this amount of work, whatever, this is that. So still do work them to the current day. So, I was building that relationship connection with a shipper already, because they had a shortage of smaller vans and jobs to do it. So I was in the area. And so ever since, they've been giving me regular work-ish. Yeah, regular work, yeah. And the good lads as well. So that's one thing I've got that one that's regular, but the rest, I think obviously now I'm getting jobs more based on my 100% positive feedback. And also when you bid for a job with a shipper you've done work with before, they can see that you've done that job before or jobs for them before. Because they've rang me in the past and goes, oh yeah, I can see you've done plenty of these jobs for us before. Yeah, there's a job. So that will help. I know you haven't specifically got rung by them and say, oh, we'll use you, we need this. It's still, you've got a relationship because you've done a good job from every time. That's one shortfall for me. I have been networking and stuff in a local area, but it's difficult getting your own end user customers, as they're called, which you can charge a better price. The rarer than hen's teeth. So we'll have to, you just have to keep plugging away with cards, family, friends, anything you can think of to drum up business. Just do it. I mean, if you're on the courier exchange as well, because if you're getting a job, say if you get a customer, an end user customer who's giving you regular work, getting out every day, and then you're getting a job back every day using the courier exchange, that's the dream, really, isn't it? Really getting there and getting back. So yes, just keep plugging away, and eventually you will build up and get, as long as you're doing a good job, you're getting good feedback. And then if you're doing work for one shipper quite a lot, then they'll notice that. And when you're bidding on a job, you've got maybe more chance of getting that job than someone else that hasn't done the job from before. So I've got a list here on my computer, just so I don't forget stuff. Quoting on jobs, feedback. Yeah, we're going through feedback. Right, what I use, this is the most professional thing I think I use for pods, which is the proof of delivery. And I recommend, if you're new or if you're not new and you've got a very basic one, it's worth just getting a little bit extra and getting these in. So it might be back to front, but I will put a link down below. It's on eBay, and Top Bloke, he's messaged me before about these, and thanks you for buying them. So, you know, I think a few people use them. So it will be back to front, I think. So you can see there, delivery note. You've got, I think, the courier's name, the customer who you do work for there, the date, from, to, they sign and date it there. You've even got load ID, which you'll get on when you used to get a job on the courier exchange. You'll get a load ID, which is probably on the email confirmation. Your ID from the courier exchange on there, number of items. So I think that, if in my opinion, is the most professional pod you can get. You can buy anywhere. I've looked because I did a lot of research before. I think Big Birdie's mentioned these before, and I think obviously a lot of couriers will have these pods, but I'll put the link there and get on eBay and get these bought because these will look really professional. The triplets, triples, as you can see, and they are top drawer. So highly, highly recommended. So that's your pods. Then when it comes to invoicing, the CX has got a very good invoicing system. And again, it took me a while, not a while, it's wrong, but it took you a bit to get into your rhythm and how you do it. Everyone will do invoicing differently, how they do it. But the CX is really good at that. So you go into your invoices, you can put this week, if you're doing it weekly, this week. I would recommend to do it weekly, or even, to be fair, yeah, weekly, yeah. You're not going to get much time in a week to do it, to be honest. Because you want to get you want to get everything, that paperwork sent out, so they've got it and you get paid. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, don't start lingering with keeping pods and invoices, you just lose track. So CX's invoicing system is great. The way I do it, as I get on my phone, I just got my work emails, is which way you get the confirmation from the courier exchange. That's set up, so that's one email address. Then I just go on through everyone, read the notes and check if they need it sent by in the post. Obviously I read it when I get the job, in case it's an electronic, which is, you know, that's the winner. Just send it on the CX, done. That's it, no messing about. So I know I've done them, and if not, I'll just double check. So I go for each one, then print off which invoice needs sending out by post. And people that are new to this will probably think, that's very old-fashioned way, especially in the times at the moment, that you send things by post, but don't ask why, but they are. Quite a few are. But saying that, there's a few more now coming into the electronic side, which if you send it off to CX, it's easy. You just scan your pod, upload the invoice, and then just press send, and it's gone, and you're done, and you're on to your next job. Right, so that's that. Not that I've ever done it, gone elsewhere and stuff, but you'll see on the jobs that say hot shot, and if it's a hot shot, no peeing about it, A to B, needs to be there on the hurry up. So you go straight there, because if you try to co-load and get other jobs, the shipper can track you, and if you're going like up there, they'll see that, and that could result in not being paid, and bad feedback. I mean, again, like I was speaking about feedback, that's the issue. If you're peeing about on the job, just get it done. I'll bloody light across my screen now. I wonder if it'll... No, it's still there. Still there? There we go. Yeah, so if you're peeing about on the... Sorry? Yeah, peeing about on the job, just get the job done. A to B, done. Going to strategies and plans. Again, like I said, everyone's going to do everything different. Mine's changed a lot since I started. Also trying to get back home, and I think I can't remember exactly. There would have been days when I'd come home when I shouldn't have done and just stayed in a van or stayed in a hotel or whatever you do, tramp, whatever. There should have been times on that, because again, that loses your money on the fuel. So, yeah, so there have been times I was just going here, there and everywhere, and also going to areas where it wouldn't be busy. Again, you're not going to really know until you do it yourself, or obviously us YouTubers, sounds silly there, don't I? No, I mean, some of us have already mentioned it, I mean, in other videos regarding areas of the country. So you'll learn where to go and what the best jobs are So sorry if you're taking your first job and where you're going to, if that's a good area to go to. And sometimes if it's not, if it's near something, a bigger place, or it's all about risk and reward. Sometimes you might be the only driver in that area and a job comes up within 10 miles and you'll be like, right, I'll have that. And you can probably quote a higher price and win it because you'll be the only driver in the area. So I've got a story, got a job that's happened to me. I don't know why I've been there. I think I've been there 3 times, a Barry-in-Furness, which is the arse end of nowhere, and there's not much there. And I took a job there. I did go a bit higher, so I got a decent money. But so that made it less painful. I had to come all the way back through Barry to go back to the M6. Excuse me. So I checked. You can check on the app who's nearby. I was the only driver. The job come up and I was like, "Can spat me drink out?" I couldn't believe it. Barry. It's just outside Watford. And it's a shipper who does all the COVID and does all the medical ones, not just COVID, a lot of medical ones as well. So that came up and I was like, well, I'm the only driver here. If I don't do it, no one else. It was a big job. It's obviously long distance. So I can't remember exactly what I quoted to myself and what the price was for mile, but it was obviously higher towards the £1 a mile mark. Because again, you can only drive, you don't want to risk not getting it. I don't know how it works. Maybe could have gone much higher and got it because I'm the only driver, but they could have done something else, the shipper, and just took it off. And I don't know what would have happened. So I kind of didn't want to go too high anyway, but still got really good money, and obviously I had really good money going Barrett. So it was a good day. So usual strategy. God, the light in here, the bloody weather today. There we go. Stop the light going on. So it's not an exact science or exact. I don't do exactly the same every week. And obviously everyone's personal situation is different. So I know in a minute, well, not in a minute, because now he's got busier. Fridays are a nightmare, and I keep saying it every bloody week, so I'm sound like a stuck record with Fridays. So Thursday, I'll always try and stay out and get a long distance job in, and basically I'm going to make, if I can make the money over target in 4 days each day, then I know Friday will be, I won't need to make as much, and obviously with the traffic I won't be out on the road as much, or I can get a job handy and just get out of wherever I am and get home and then have an early finish, but I'm still making the money. So Thursday try and stay out, get a job north, south, could be in Scotland, couldn't I? So north or south, get the distance on it and get all right money, and then I'm back. So usually stay out twice a week, to be honest. Sometimes on Mondays. It depends, really. It's usually a Monday or a Tuesday. But again, it changes per week. Jobs can come up and that changes all that. So roughly that. But obviously if your situation is you need to be back, then if you're getting a job early enough, then you should be hopefully brought to get a job back to your area. I mean, that's key really to making big money on the day, is getting a job in early. If you're boxing off a job before 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock and you've got, I don't know, 100, 150 in the bank more, then be set up for a cracker. So yeah, just get that early, if you can get that early job in, or pick it up the night before or whatever. So just keep an eye on that. So that's one thing that I did really. I was most of the time in the week, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, look at this, but usually I've got a job booked in for the morning. Getting a job booked in the morning is brilliant. Even if it's 9 o'clock pickup, because you've got it in, you haven't got that in the morning going bid, getting nothing, 10, 11, then it's limiting your time in the day to make that money. Because the later jobs, they're not as many as obviously in a day. So I was in a caddy, and we knew we were getting another inheritance, surprisingly, my wife again. So that helped out again, but we were always planning to get a bigger van. I didn't go too high. So I made money on, because the way vans are going, made money on the caddy, because it was immaculate, to be honest. It was smart, it had supply light, it was really nice. But it's like driving a car. It's uncomfortable for such a long period of time, I thought, driving a car. So moved up to a Renault Traffic Sport. It's only a short wheelbase, but it also gives me scope for more jobs. I think in some places where I was in a remote area, say in Norwich, I think one day I saw a Norwich and it was like short wheelbase going to like Stockport or Manchester. And I was like, can't do it. So I got frustrated that obviously I was limited to that type of job. I think in a year, 18 months, I probably moved to a long wheelbase van. Did used to drive one in my last job when I worked for a brewery. So we'll see. But we're happy in this at the moment. It's a good van. Yes, tidy van. It's comfy, good, nice drive. I didn't know you could do it, but I did add cruise control onto it, which was a decent price. Actually just come out to my house and did it on the drive, no problem, job done. Because that's killing me on long distances. Might be a bit of like being a bit of a princess, but on long distances, your foot is killing your legs. If it's like Scotland, it's just straight right up the motorway. Makes a big difference, and also for your fuel consumption, I think that's a big one. It saved me a lot. Not that I was like ragging it about, but when you can keep to like just below 70 on a motorway consistently that speed, yeah, I think I'm getting 42.8 or 6 around that. So easy getting the most, because like I said, well, if you watch my last video, I was stuck because of fuel. I was on 908 on a full tank, so 908 miles. So it's usually about 900. So pleased with that. So then we opened up more opportunities for jobs, and that local shipper I let them know, and then that again opened up more opportunities. So size of van, it really depends really what you want. Obviously, the bigger the van, the more you can command. Well, you say that. Again, it's a rule. It's not set in stone, unfortunately. The prices you get, you're not really what's the word? Capped on what you can earn, even in a smaller van. It just depends what type of jobs you pick up and how many hours you put in to get that work. So if you're prepared to put in the work, you'll get the money. I think now, last 3 months, obviously, apart from not being well, the 3 months I had the row I was earning basically the same. So I was getting, obviously I put my price up a little bit recently, again, only a little bit, just to test the water. So basically gone up and up and up a little bit, to see where we get a happy medium with what we can earn. But yeah, every month's good. The money I want to earn, the money, everyone's different. How much they need to earn is how much their overheads are. Everyone's is different vans, different fuel, different bills at home, nothing to do with vans or couriers. Everyone's different. And if you figure out what you need to earn minus your costs, then that's it. That's your target for the day, target for the month. So everyone again will be different. So navigation, I don't think there's any really personally need for like a specific sat nav unless you've got one built into your van. The one I use 90% of the time is Waze, WAZE, because there's a lot of users on it and it's real-time updates and it'll change your route accordingly. There's times when it saved me. I was coming out the M6 way and also went beep, 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 just whoop, come off this junction, went round it, come back on, missed it all. Because other drivers, you can update. You can do it. If you're in traffic, you're in this obstruction, so you can update it and then that'll update you if it's affecting your route. So I think it's really good. I really highly recommend Waze. And Waze, if you're watching, come on. Pete the courier driver's got the bloody circuit planner and doesn't even do multi-drop. I use Waze all the time. Come on. So yeah, Waze is really good. Specifically, if you get another app, which would be good to use if you're getting like a private address or somewhere rural, is Delmate. I think DELM and the number 8. And you put postcode in and then it will go there. So you get that. And I think that loads of Ways as well. So, but it'll get you pinpoint to that house specifically because sometimes it can be a nightmare. I found that really useful. Some of these things I didn't use before. So, I was using apps before and other ones. So they were no good. So Waze, if you're watching, I'm telling you, come on. I've got 250 subscribers now, Waze, come on. Yeah, so I use them, and I highly recommend it due to everyone's using it. And it also gets used to your driving style and speed, so your ETA is pretty accurate, and it will obviously update its ETA if there's any obstructions en route. So get that downloaded. Right, 25 minutes. I'm talking, could be talking absolute nonsense here. Apologies if I am. Hope it's been useful to some. I think I'll finish. I'll just do one more thing. I think I'll finish it there for now. And if anything else comes up, I can do a short video. Longest job. Stockport to Stornoway. I'll try and put it on here, how far it is. It's the Isle of Lewis. It was 2.5 hours on a ferry. Got off the ferry. They were waiting in like the waiting bit. Dropped the boxes off to him. Turned back round and got back on the same ferry for another 2.5 hours. It wasn't really that rough of a crossing, but because of the motion and 5 hours on the ferry, it was like, yeah. So after an hour with the wind down, it just finally felt a bit better. But it's probably like 10.5, 11 hours, something like that. Again, I took that job quite early on in my career on the CX. I can't remember actually what I got for it, to be honest. I can't remember if I can find it. So luckily, what made it all right, I come back from Stornoway to my house with nothing on, because I picked it up, it was only boxes, and on the way up, a job come up when I was driving to Inverness just to stay over to get the ferry the next day. Job come up, I was near it, St Helens to Glasgow. Priced the money on it, small van, 1 pallet. So I got that, so that really helped it pay. So we still made money, obviously made money on the job, but without the Glasgow job, it would have been a bit of a struggle, I think. So you live and learn, you take jobs which you shouldn't take, and they're not going to make you much money, but it's all about, especially at the start, just learning. And it took me a long time. I'm not saying I'm some expert now by a long way, no. But I know what jobs are coming up in my area. I know where to kind of be, where to go, and if no jobs pop up where I think they'll be, then that's just look at a draw and how busy it is that day. It's no 2 days are the same, and one area might be busy one day, it might not be the next. So yeah, just the main lot of the other, like I said, YouTubers will say it's like Northwest is good. It's like that corridor, you got Yorkshire down all the way down that country, Birmingham, Midlands, Bristol-ish, not too bad. Southeast quite difficult. But if you're in one of them places like that, Big Birdie's in Norwich. But again, he said there's only so many long wheelbase drivers in Norwich, so he knows if 3 jobs go, he'll get the 4th because he's the only one left. Or he's built relationships because if he's gone on there or he knows people in the area, there's not many people about. So it can work in rural areas. I said if you're getting a job out, then you've got the CX to get you back or get you somewhere else or a bigger job. Right. I hope people found that useful. If they haven't, any comments below, I'll try and answer as many questions as I can. Not like I'm going to get like 100. I've only got 250 subscribers. But yeah, I try to answer all the comments that come through. I do appreciate your support and all the comments. If you do like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. I'd be really appreciate it. Hope everyone has a good week, and I'll see you in the next one.